Hello, my name is Arthur, and now that we have a somewhat functional player character, a somewhat functional enemy character, it's time to start making this a little more game-like. So there's lots of things to do to to get it being a fun game. But first, the first things are first, right? We get a start to a level, some level art, and some functioning characters. Now, it's taken quite a few videos to do that because it's a fair amount of work to try to develop a game. But now moving forward, we're going to try to get it more game-like. So one of the first things that we need is a player, now that he has the ability to die. He needs the ability to spawn and have more than one life because we've never had him in this effort with anything more than one life. So let's work on that. Let's give him a spawn. So first thing we'll do is in Game Manager, we'll give him 3 lives. So that's a little more standard. So we'll just save that in. And then we'll look at the player. Now, for the player, we're going to need a few things to make him spawn. Let's look at level 1 first off. There's where is he going to spawn? Now, we could go with, oh, he's always going to spawn in the exact same place of any level, or he's going to spawn in different places of different levels of different shapes. So let's pick the latter of the two. He's going to spawn wherever we start him in whatever level we're in. So in level 1, he's going to start here. So he's going to need a little bit of script for that. Let's give him a variable. This one will make an onReady var. We'll call it home. And it will equal his position. So when a level starts, the character will be spawned as part of the level. It will be instanced in the level. And wherever he is in that level will become his home position. So in level 1, when level 1 starts, the variable will be filled as home. So that's a start. The next thing we're going to need is an animation. We're going to need some kind of a spawn animation. I've turned on the visibility on all the collision shapes for now because it's going to help with debugging if we run into bugs. But we'll turn that off so we can see. And let's use Animation Player 2 because it's separate from his walk, jump, and run animations. So the spawn animation can play, and he'll still have the ability to walk, idle, or jump, and all those things. So we'll create the animation. We'll call it spawn. Okay. We'll just leave it at 1 second long. And for this animation, all we're going to do is change his visibility. So we would change the visibility of let's change the visibility of the whole player. That seems to make the most sense to me. We would start off with him being completely alpha, and I think this should work. So we'll key in completely alpha at the start of the animation, or complete no alpha, and then make him fully opaque at the end of the animation. So it's going to start off invisible and become visible. And then, I don't know, every 0.2 frames, we can vary that a little bit. So at this point, we would make him a little more visible. So let's lean him into a little more visible. We'll key that in there. Then at 4, we'll make him a bunch less visible. We'll key that in there. At 6, we'll make him more visible. key that in. And then at 8, we'll make him a little less visible. And kind of like he's getting more and more visible while he's sort of wavering is kind of the effect I'm going for. And I'm doing this very quickly, so exactly how perfect the animation is going to be is a little sketchy. So that's his animation to spawn into being. So we'll leave that, and we'll look at scripting that. And hopefully this animation is not going to become problematic and make them disappear forever or anything. It should work the way that it is. So now we're going to need a function to make him spawn. So function spawn pass, and on ready, the first thing we'll make him do is spawn. So we'll make the function call. So when the board starts, we'll that animation will play. So that would be the animation player 2. So $ animation player 2 dot play spawn. Okay, and that's at the start of the game. Then there's on die animation finished, where we put in else for if game manager lives equals 0, he just queue free, and that will change because technically when it's a game, it's not going to queue free. It's going to change to a game over scene. So this is sort of just a temporary thing until we have a game start and a game over screen to begin and end the game with. So here he will go spawn. So that's the beginning of getting him to spawn after he dies. So let's just have a look at that. It's not going to work because we haven't done enough, but we'll have a look at what we get. So he spawns in. That works fine. Let's move him to where he can die. We'll let him die. Takes a hit. Takes a hit. And he spawned in his old position. And he can't move. There's nothing there. The enemy is just walking through him. So the first thing is in spawn is we didn't send him home. So position equals home. Then the next thing is we didn't turn him back on. So let's just look at that from a what we actually saw happen point of view. Let's take die, which is the animated sprite for die, and toggle its visibility. So we're going to make it visible equals false, and then see where we're at. So he spawns in. We'll just walk up to get shot. We'll take the hit. We'll take the hit. We die. We respawn. And we have nothing now because we've made everything invisible. If I was to turn on visibility on this collision shape, we would see something entirely different and have a better idea of what's going on. So that's why I have visibility on the collision shapes on. Ooh, I sort of hit his back there but didn't inflict any damage. So his die animation, he respawns, and there's the only thing there is his collision shape, and it's not even touching the ground. So we have to go through and look at what we turned off when he died. We turned off his collision shape and his sprite. We also set him to be alive equals false. So we need to $ collision shape 2D dot disabled equals false. So we'll get his collision shape turned on. We need to $sprite dot visible equals true. We need to set him to alive. So that should be more in order of getting him working. So let's see what we get now. He spawns in, looks good. There's one of the weaknesses in the enemy. We die, we respawn, and we fly backwards for some reason. But we're able to walk. So what went on there? Why did we fly backwards like that? Let's take a look at what goes on. Okay, he only took one hit for his second life, so there's a problem there. And he only took one hit for his second life. And each time he respawned, he jumped backwards. So perhaps the thing to do is, instead of sending to spawn, we could send ourselves to ready, because our first problem is our health wasn't reset. Our second problem is when he took a hit, something happened, and we didn't reset that something that happened. And what happened was he took a hit and he was sent to the bounce function. So in the bounce function, he got this speed was assigned to him. When he respawns in the new position, he's still carrying this velocity. So we have a choice here. We can send it to spawn, or we can change function ready. We can cut this out of function ready. Just tell it to spawn at function ready. Paste the health assignment at spawn, and velocity equals vector to 0. Okay, so that should get us closer. That should actually be functioning now. I'll just get my controller up. We'll drop down, pick up to pick up, take a couple of hits. He gets hit. He gets hit. He respawns. But our HUD isn't reflecting the loss of lives, so we still say we have 3 lives. So we need to update the HUD there. Now let's see what happens. He takes the hit. He takes the hit. He respawns. He doesn't fly backwards. And the HUD isn't reflecting the loss of lives. So here's his third life. He takes the hit. He takes the hit. He dies and is queue free. So pretty much all that we need here is an update to the HUD. So we can put that in spawn, or at the point where he loses his life. So where does he lose his life? Take damage. health, life bar, die, game manager lives, alive equals false, and when we go game manager lives, it should be simply come habit to update the HUD. So if we're changing in something in game manager, it reflects in the HUD because it's either lives, crystals, or score. So anytime that's happening, it should reflect in the HUD. So at this point, we should have everything functioning about him respawning. And I know that I see that some efforts are like re-instance the player into the scene, but I don't see the purpose in doing that. I just send him back to the point that he started in. The next time he's instanced in the scene, he will be instanced as part of level 2. So we're showing in the HUD. We have the crystal showing in the HUD. Let's kill our enemy this time. That shows in the HUD. So now we have everything functioning. That's it for this video. There's some changes on my channel. I'm now able to exceed 15 minutes, and I'll try to do better video descriptions and stuff and not upload in big series of videos moving forward, and maybe try to attract more views by putting a little bit more effort into my videos. So in the next video, now that we have lives, maybe it's time to look at a start and game over screen. So perhaps that'll be the next video. We'll look at going from one scene to the next and get ourselves a game start and a game over screen. So until then, I hope this was useful, and take care.